DLP launches its 2014 election manifesto in Trafalgar, and representatives of both political parties sign a code of conduct for the 2014 general election. And one health official says stigma could pose a problem for people living with diabetes. I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. The details after this.
What inspires you? Berger Paints, all the colors of you.
And every day until Christmas, get all the shades you love at a fantastic 20% discount on Berger Royale, Weatherproof Ultra, and all the popular Berger brands. Available at retail outlets island-wide. This Christmas, beautify with Berger.
LED TVs for $339, washers for $749, a queen bed for $799, a sofa bed for $999. With prices like this, that means only one thing. Quartz Breeze Black Friday sale is here. More great deals in store on credit purchases 24 months and over. And you have nothing to pay until February. But hurry, stock is limited. It's the biggest pre-Black Friday. This Friday, November 14th. Only at Quartz. Great deals and nothing to pay until February 2015. Quartz, bringing value home.
This house was first purchased by the Robinsons, who then sold it to Indra Ford in 2007. She loved baking, but last year she forgot to turn off the stove. Luckily, Sagicor General was there to help rebuild. So now, the house will smell of sweetbread again for a long, long time. We know this house, like we know every house we insure. Across the land, throughout the region, we've been there. Sagicor General, wise financial thinking for life.
Looking for the best deals on household and electronic items? Then shop and save at the Muslim store. Prices slashed. Television at the Muslim store. Prices slashed. Washers, it's the Muslim style. Prices slashed. Laptops at the Muslim store. Prices slashed. Jewelry, it's the Muslim style. Visit us on the Bayfront today. The Muslim store. Locally born, locally grown.
This is the new iPhone 6.
And this is the new iPhone 6 Plus.
They're the biggest iPhones ever made.
They're huge.
Yeah, but their size is just the beginning.
Even though they're huge.
Sure, but they could change the way you see the world.
Oh, that is so huge.
They can help you improve your health.
Huge!
They're the biggest, most powerful iPhones ever made. Stop it, please. Stop it. Thank you.
Huge.
The Dominica Labour Party launched its 2014 manifesto on the political platform in Trafalgar Thursday night under the theme, Relentlessly Pursuing the Dream of a Prosperous, Peaceful and Just Dominica. The Labour Manifesto for the next 5 years covers, among other things, the DLP's plans for employment, health, education, tourism, agriculture, energy and foreign investment. One official said the DLP's 2014 manifesto is based on the party's 14 years of economic management and fiscal prudence.
From the inception, we knew that we had to stabilize and grow the economy. We needed finance to invest in projects, put money in people's pockets. So we developed a new foreign policy and we made friends with nations that could help us. This investment was carefully spent to boost the economy and create employment. By 2004, the economy had been stabilized and actually grew by 3%. Unfortunately, this rate of growth was affected by Hurricane Dean and the global financial and economic storms after 2008. Despite this, we have been able to achieve modest growth and even increase the social services to our people. While all this was taking place, we developed a series of policies and programs which have already begun to bear fruit. During the past 14 years, we have been able to reduce poverty from nearly 40% to 28%. Right now, we have completed the preconditions for social and economic development. We have built the runway and are ready to take off. We have created an environment that supports growth and development. Dominica is now one of the best places in the Caribbean to start up or expand a business enterprise.
Mr. Skerrit says the vision is for a prosperous, peaceful and just Dominica. The youth were among the first to receive a copy of the manifesto from the Prime Minister himself. He emphasized that he was working to create a better future for them. Meantime, MP for the Roseau Valley, Dr. Colin McIntyre, says infrastructural development in Mount Prosper and nearby communities was a priority. He says a lot has been done in Wharton Waven and plans for road construction are on the cards. He also pointed to agriculture as a priority for Mount Prosper. He reminded supporters of the potential of the Roseau Valley in terms of its contribution to reduced energy cost.
Because our aim is to get a cheap, clean and green form of energy for Dominica. The valley has the hydro program about 30%, and what we want to do right now is put in the other 70% in terms of geothermal, and the valley is called the energy nerve of Dominica.
Meantime, presenting on the Labour Party's accomplishments over the last 5 years, Ian Douglas pointed to universal access to education at the new Dominica State College, farm access roads, a new fisheries complex in Portsmouth, the Point Michel Soufriere Road and Sea Defence Project, night landing at the Douglas Schultz Airport bringing in 40,000 or more visitors to Dominica. He also pointed to the agricultural station at 1 Mile and the coffee plant, which he believes will help diversify the economy. Housing, water and other infrastructural projects were also highlighted. Douglas says Labour has repaired Dominica's image and kept people employed in spite of a global recession.
And while the world is in recession, while things are tight all over the world, while persons are losing their jobs, in our neighboring islands, brothers and sisters, every single body in Dominica have kept their job. Not one single man jack have been sent home. Not in the private sector, not in the public service. Not one single man. That is management at its best, brothers and sisters. We have even gone ahead and we have expanded the working population. The employment agency, brothers and sisters, are employing young persons in droves. That is what the employment program is doing. Now, a lot of young people can go home with their salary to help their mother and help their father and help their parents to pay light and to pay water and to put food on the table. Remember that this election is about your future. This election is not so much about Labour or United Workers' Party. This election is about the survival of Dominica and the Dominican people.
The Labour Party manifesto, which was distributed on Friday, can also be accessed on the website www.labourkatwavai.com. Meantime, the EWP's leader, Lennox Linton, says information that his party is unable to present a manifesto for its election campaign is propaganda by its opponents. At the DLP's grand launch of its manifesto on Thursday night, Prime Minister Skerrit told his supporters, according to the UWP's Facebook page, its manifesto is not ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dominicans, the UWP just posted on their Facebook page that they will have no manifesto for this election. I can tell you that the Labour Party has 15,000 printed manifestos in Dominica tonight. So long they calling for elections. So long they calling for elections, ladies and gentlemen. And yet they're saying on their Facebook they will not be able to have a manifesto.
On Thursday night, I should say, at Lagon, Portsmouth, UWP leader Lennox Linton told supporters the party would launch its manifesto during the week of November 24. Regarding the message which appeared on its official Facebook page, Linton says it was a fabricated photo with UWP's signage.
They say it's United Workers' Party. That's what I said. They fake this. They say here, our promise to you. Thank you for visiting Team Dominica's website. Our manifesto for the upcoming elections that are constitutionally due by May 2015 is still in production, so we are unable to present you with a copy.
And tourism and agriculture are on the top of the agenda of the United Workers' Party candidate for the Cottage constituency. UWP continued its 21 block meetings campaign in Lagon, Portsmouth, a community part of the Cottage constituency, where UWP Stuart Burton outlined his vision for that region.
Portsmouth is the main port for agriculture, export to the islands of Guadeloupe, Antigua, St. Martin, St. Kitts, Tortola, and the Virgin Islands. There has been great waste for our citrus fruits during the season. A canning industry, therefore, is highly recommended. Short and medium-term training in fishing, agriculture, production, marketing, and processing need to be provided for the youth.
67-year-old Burton was born in Portsmouth but raised in Salibia. He has been residing or living in Cottage for 37 years. He says under his stewardship, the Tatan waterfall will be developed to its full potential as a tourist site, and repairs will be made on the Portsmouth cruise ship berth.
I would like to see greater improvement in the sporting facilities in the constituency. The one at Savantpai is not able to accommodate tennis, football, and rounders. Also, the area where it is located makes it difficult for expansion, so a new site is required. My eyes have already been placed on a new location. That's right. Sport is a complex sporting facility at Lamoth is essential. Another facility at Beverly Hills for cricket and football is possible.
You're watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, we'll hear from a laborite who says his vehicle was vandalized.
Strong preparation. Strong concentration. Strong teamwork. Strong nerve. Strong performance. Strong oil. Volkswagen recommends Castrol Edge, our strongest oil. Castrol, it's more than just oil, it's liquid engineering.
You just got into a car accident. Now you have to fix it and you don't have a cent. Don't worry, be happy. Your home got flooded out and you've lost it all, and chances to recover start to look very small. Don't worry, be happy.
Want to live the worry-free life today? Call us at Beacon or log on to beacon.co.tt. Beacon Insurance. Switched on.
We mixing white dog with anything. Only white dog. White dog with anything. Only white dog can beat it. It's calling. I'm eating. It's calling. Only white dog can beat it. It's calling. I'm eating.
White Oak. When it pours, you reign.
I run from me to me. For me?
You don't need speakers, right?
Upgrade to win every week with Lime. Sign up to a data plan top-up or sign up for e-billing for chances to win. Upgrade Christmas with Lime.
Ozone. Never done till the dirt is gone. Ozone.
Thank you for staying with us. The Dominica Labour Party and United Workers' Party have both adopted an election code of conduct ahead of the December 8 general election.
Representatives of the main political parties met with the Dominica Christian Council to discuss and agree on the principles of the election code. If it's one thing that DLP's campaign manager Dr. Vince Henderson and UWP's political leader Lennox Linton agreed on, is that monitoring of the code should be done by people who are not aligned to the political parties. Henderson says the Dominica Labour Party is committed to observing the code, although they recognize they cannot control the actions of all their supporters.
We know that it is one thing to say or to call on supporters to stay away from violence, but it's quite something different when the very language that is used repeatedly sort of anger people and give them reasons and excuses to engage in illegal, criminal, or disrespectful acts. So, ladies and gentlemen of the Dominican Christian Council, once again, commend you for the action that you're taking here today, and we give you a full commitment.
Lennox Linton, while also pledging the UWP's support of the election code, challenged the Christian Council to monitor whether the code is being adhered to.
We're at the start of something which I think is very good for the country. And I wonder what will happen a week or two down the road when something similar occurs after we have signed this document and agreed that we'll address issues and we'll avoid character assassination and or mudslinging about our opponents. And we'll avoid half-truths and misrepresentations which confuse issues and mislead the electorate.
Media practitioners were also invited to sign the election code. It was also agreed that adherence of the code will essentially boil down to the actions of all the parties who've signed on.
One of the things that we are presently discussing and engaging is the question of overseeing the code. We might not have the powers of the United Nations or The Hague, but we will try as best we can to put something in place to address that concern.
When is that possible? Because we don't have too much time.
In the next few days.
And speaking of conduct, a Labour Party advocate says his rental vehicle was vandalized while hanging flyers and flags with 6 other individuals in the Goodwill Stock Farm area on Wednesday night.
Unfortunately for me, I actually parked my vehicle, a vehicle that I'm renting by Prime Rental, and parked the vehicle there and decided that we were going to do some work in the area. So, and I ensured that I park it underneath lights so that if anybody had any intention that they would have been very clear not to tamper with the property. And unfortunately for me, when I returned just about 1 o'clock in the morning, that I saw the level of vandalism.
Joseph says a check flash drive and a few other items have also gone missing from the vehicle. Police are currently investigating the matter.
Under the law, if it supersedes, so if it passes the $10,000 threshold, it could be what you call an indictable offense. So in other words, it's a very serious offense. And that definitely will be investigated by the Criminal Investigations Department. If it's lower than that, then the General Investigations Department will do those investigations. And like I said, there are punitive measures or penalties if people are caught, brought before the court, go through the due process, and if they're convicted, they can be fined heavily.
In other news now, Jolly's Pharmacy and the Dominica Diabetes Association collaborated on Friday, World Diabetes Day, to sensitize the public on how to stay healthy, whether you have diabetes or not. One of the concerns for health officials is the stigma which they say is associated with diabetes. The concern is that men in particular do not want to be identified as living with diabetes.
We know that people, especially the men, do not want people to know they have diabetes because one of the complications is erectile dysfunction. And people don't want, a man doesn't want people to know that he possibly cannot have regular relationships. And also, I think because people pass urine frequently when they have diabetes and sugar in there, they call it sweet pee-pee. And because it has to do with the genital area, that people are afraid to let people know that they have diabetes. Because some people still think that diabetes can be passed on from one person to the other by having close relationships.
The activities for World Diabetes Day outside Jolly's Pharmacy on Friday included an exhibition and healthy breakfast. The message is that healthy eating begins with breakfast. Jolly's Pharmacy has been at the forefront in terms of health promotion and education.
We believe that as a pharmacy, we have a responsibility to really give credible information to people, as it were, in reference to their medications, why they should be taking their medications, why they should be following the regimen of the medications, and why it's important to not, include alcohol whilst they're taking their medications, particularly medications for diabetes.
This year's World Diabetes Day theme is Diabetes and Healthy Living. That's news. Sports is next with Gavin Richards.
We bowl off with some cricket news. The former West Indies fast bowler Vasper Drakes and West Indies player Shane Shillingford are expected to give their inputs this weekend as they pay a visit to the National Cricket Academy. Cricket Development Officer Felix Thomas says the young cricketers are expected to get numerous tips from the West Indies seniors.
This weekend we'll be having a visit from a West Indies board representative. This is Mr. Vasper Drakes. Vasper Drakes, a former West Indies cricketer and a coach now at the High Performance Center in Barbados, will be visiting us to assist us coaches in delivering a successful program at the academy. And during his visit, he'll also do some coaching with us, where he will on Saturday and Sunday hold sessions with the guys, especially the bowlers, because that was his forte, where he was strong. And at the end of it all, we will be hoping that Mr. Drake's experience here with us will be beneficial to both us, the coaches, and to the players. So he being part of the HPC in Barbados is a perfect fit for us here into taking advantage of his visit, and we hope that at the end of it that it will be beneficial to both us, the coaches, and the cricketers at the academy in general. So this weekend, as I said, we will be having Vasper Drakes here with us, and I know it won't be the last in its kind, as we plan on bringing more of the past greats to help assist with the academy and for us to be successful.
On to some netball news. Some 2 matches to kick off the 2014 Secondary School Sports Division netball tournament on Thursday in the Under 16 division. In the first match, the ITSS beat the Wesley High School 14-6, with Ann Robinson getting 3 and Anna Robinson 11 goals for the ITSS. Meanwhile, for the Wesley High School, Aisha John Baptist had 4 and Kayla Bella 2. In the second match, the defending champs, the Convent High School, they hammered the Pierre Charles Secondary 30-4, with Enrique Sorrendo getting 21 for the Convent High School and Tonila Eli 9, while Ranis Luke scored 3 for the PCSS. Meantime, sports coordinator Trevor Shillingford says the Regional Netball Association needs to be strengthened to have a greater impact on the sport. Shillingford, speaking on Iron Sports, says netball already is at a disadvantage, with there not being many professional opportunities for them. He believes the Regional Association can do more.
One of the problems that exists with the sport of netball is that with the sport of football, cricket, and even basketball, track and field, you have some pretty strong regional and international bodies that actually govern the sport and are ensuring that the sport is commercialized and there's money pumped into the development of the sport, legacy programs, they benefit from legacy programs. But if the sport of netball, this isn't very evident. And I believe this is what is really hindering the progress that the sport of netball is making. I believe that if we are to move forward, we need to have a stronger regional body governing the sport of netball, and that particular regional body should work with the international body, and there must be some efforts made at really injecting some level of funding into the sport of netball, because right now what you find happening is the only injection of funding that the sport of netball is getting is coming from the governments, and the governments with so many other areas to cater for. It is a very huge pie, but one which has to be divided into a number of sectors, a number of segments. And I believe netball is really hindered by the absence of a strong regional and even a strong international body.
On the football news, the DFA is gearing up for its participation for the first time in the Women's Carnival Cup set for the USVI. The DFA has called up some 29 players for training.
29 players have been called up by the technical staff of the DFA to represent the national senior women's team as Dominica prepares to participate for the first time in the second annual Women's Carnival Cup, taking place in the U.S. Virgin Islands from December 27, 2014 to January 4, 2015. The players are Ali Jatit, Brittany Stout, Chazelle Phillip, Christina Sobers, Cora Francis, Kadisha Joseph, Kiana Francis, Kimberly Eli, Michelin Morgan, Mariah Esprit, Naima Africa, Onisha Deluge, Pearl Etienne, Romelcia Phillip, Rosilia Regis, Sabrina Graham, Tabik Lockhart, Tracy Ann Etienne, Bernice Thomas, Samantha Joseph, Cassandra Alexander, Ayana St. Rose, Krista Dorival, Marissa Ryan, Eflin Lockhart, Nadej Victor, Donisha Deluge, Akima Seja, and Giselle Francis.
Meantime, in the Domlec Women's Football League, there was a win for the Maho Soka Strikettes, and the DFA will launch its Girls Football Festival this weekend.
Maho Soka Strikettes made it 4 wins in as many matches, with a 5-2 victory over Bomber Starlights last night in the DFA Domlec Women's League at the Taser Grounds in Maho. Michelin Morgan registered a hat-trick to help her team maintain a perfect home record. Keisha Eugene and Chelsea Sorrento scored 1 each. Akima Seja and Donisha Deluge got 1 each for Bombers. The league continues tonight with Wood City Strikers and the Southeast Stars going in search of their first win as they battle each other at the Buffett State playing field at 6 p.m. Meanwhile, the DFA will launch the first of 3 Girls Football Festival on Saturday, 15th November at the Benjamin Park in Portsmouth from 10 a.m. Girls attending primary schools from Salisbury to Portsmouth, also the Northeast from Bonn to Marigot, to include Penville, Thibault and Vickers, will gather at the Benjamin Park, where they will meet the technical staff of the DFA and learn the basic skills of football.
And back to cricket, Australia fast bowler Mitchell Johnson has won the top ICC awards for 2013-2014, being named the Cricketer of the Year as well as the Test Cricketer of the Year. South Africa's A.B. de Villiers was named the ODI Cricketer of the Year, while Australia's Aaron Finch won the T20 Performance Award for his 156 of 63 against England. England's Gary Ballance was named the Emerging Cricketer of the Year, while Sarah Taylor was named the Women's ODI Cricketer of the Year, and Meg Lanning the Women's T20 Cricketer of the Year.
Your weather report is next.
The weather is brought to you by Sagicor, wise financial thinking for life.
How do I look, Mommy?
Perfect. When you've been here, you know what's important. Protect it with Sagicor. Wise financial thinking for life.
Good evening. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. We begin by taking a look at some earlier infrared satellite imagery, and what it showed was some low-level clouds across the central and northern Les Antilles, with some multi-layered clouds lingering across the extreme southern portion of the island chain. Radar imagery indicated some scattered showers moving across parts of the Lesser Antilles today. Tonight's weather is expected to be mostly cloudy with scattered showers, with temperatures down to 25 degrees Celsius on the coast, with winds out of the east near 35 kilometers per hour. Similar conditions expected tomorrow, with temperatures peaking near 30 degrees Celsius, with winds out of the east near 40 kilometers per hour. Marine conditions moderate in open water, with swells peaking near 7 feet. A slight increase to peak near 8 feet is expected by Sunday into Monday. Small craft operators and sea beavers should exercise caution. For the next 3 days, weak unstable conditions will generate some cloudiness and scattered showers across the island tomorrow, with a relative improvement expected by Sunday into Monday. Breezy conditions will also be evident, corresponding to an increase in sea swell activity. For the remainder of the Caribbean tomorrow, weak unstable conditions will generate some cloudiness and scattered showers across the islands tomorrow, with some possible isolated thunderstorms across the extreme southern portion of the island chain. For the international cities forecast, partly cloudy skies in Miami, London, and Beijing, with some thunderstorm activity expected in Caracas. Some clear skies are expected in New York, with some relatively cool temperatures. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:07 a.m. and sunset at 5:33 p.m. Thank you for viewing, and feel free to contact us using the information provided, weather.gov.dm, or the weather hotline at 447-5555. Have a good night.
This is Channel 5 News. The headlines again. The DLP launches its 2014 election manifesto in Trafalgar, and representatives of both political parties sign a code of conduct for the 2014 general election. And one health official says stigma could pose a problem for people living with diabetes. Send your comments and questions to news@mapping2k4.com. For instant access to the news, you can download the Turn Up 767 app. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thanks for watching.